Okay, good morning, everyone. I think we're live. I see my timer in the corner. Okay. Hello, one viewer. Okay, let me make sure everything looks good on my end. Cool. There we are. Okay, we're live. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in for episode number 28 of Quarantine Kitchen. We're still going. I'm excited to share something with you that we have an inventory, if you didn't already notice, with all of the silly little puns in our titles today. We're going to be talking about guava. So this is the product that we have in inventory. It is canned guava halves, and they are in syrup. So there's some extra sugar added to this product. I'm going to talk to you how you can remove some of that sugar and incorporate this into some balanced little snacks and side dishes. So here we go. First off, this particular guava is from South Africa. So it was canned in South Africa. As you can see, it is the pink variety of guava. So people around the world eat guava in lots of Central America, South America, and lots of tropical areas. So this one in particular is from South Africa. Sometimes it is the flesh is like a white, yellow color on the inside, but the flavor is still very tropical and very similar. So it's just different varieties that are eaten around the world. So I want to show you how to use this and incorporate this into a couple of really simple ideas. We're not actually going to cook anything today, so this is going to be really great for summer snacks and side dishes because they're going to be cold. Okay. So first thing you want to do is notice that your guava has the seeds still in the middle. So the seed is technically edible, but the inside of the seed has a very small, hard kernel that you can probably chomp down on and hurt your teeth. So we're going to remove the seeds, and then we're going to incorporate our guava into a very simple fruit salad. That's the first thing we are going to make. So very simple. You're going to take your guava. You're going to treat it like you're scooping like a butternut squash or a pumpkin or an acorn squash, except this is super soft and really easy. So you're not going to put a lot of work into it. I like to use a little spoon that fits really easy into the center part of it. So you're just going to scoop a little circle just like this and get the seeds out. Very simple, just like that. So they kind of go everywhere. So you want to make sure that you kind of get them off the sides of it. And that is your scoop guava. Very simple. So each can has about 3/4 cups of fruit in it and about half of a cup of the syrup. So you're going to have about 6 or so guava halves per can. So quick scoop. Just the first step you're going to take here. Okay. Some of the flesh will come out of the inside with it, and that's fine. You can't scoop it out perfectly. So you will notice that this is not sitting in a lot of liquid. So when I open the can, I drained off all of the syrup that it's canned in. So a lot of the excess added sugar here will be in that syrup. Your guava will hold on to some of it, but it's just a better idea to, that one scoop out beautifully, to remove that heavy syrup so we can sort of cut back on some of the added sugar in our diet. The guava itself does not need the syrup to be delicious and tasty. So we can just, oops, trying to drip everywhere. Get rid of that syrup and continue on with our day. So here is some of the other components of the fruit salad. So everything here is canned fruit. So definition of convenience, and cold and no cooking required. So we've got some peaches, we've got some pears, and we've got some pineapple. So for this recipe, it's not technically a recipe, it's 1 can of each. All I'm going to do is cut the guava into little chunks so that the fruit salad is all a similar size. So everything has a similar size bite, just like that. There we go. Just give it a couple shots. This guava is so soft. Can you see me here? Yeah, you can see me. The guava is so soft that you could invite your kiddos to join you in the kitchen, and they could use a butter knife to very easily cut this guava up. Just like so. There we go. As I was looking at this and playing around with how I was going to share some ideas with you, this fruit salad recipe, it's not a recipe, I keep saying that. It's whatever fruit you have on hand. But I was thinking about canned fruit cocktail. So the canned fruit cocktail always has the one like punch of color that's usually cherry pieces, and you might have like 4 cherry pieces in the whole can, right? So with this, our pop-up color is going to be the pink color of the guava. And it really adds a great ruffle punch to some of these more familiar fruit flavors with our pineapple and pear and peach. Okay, so we're just gonna give this a mix together and then it's done. So you can, if you prefer one type of the fruit better than some of the others, you can use more of that, or you can just do pineapple and guava, or you can do peach and guava. You don't have to have all 4 of the components that I use today. It's all based on what you have available to you in your pantry. So here's a cute little summer salad that will hold for a few days in the refrigerator, and the longer you have it in your fridge, the more the flavors will marry together, and you'll have this really great combo fruit flavor. So the choice is yours, what fruit you would like to mix in with your guava. So this is 1 whole can of guava that I used here. Okay. And next recipe is going to be a little bit more savory. Let me slide. Okay. So this recipe is it's referred to as a relish. But it can just be, you can call it a salad. It has veggies and fruit in it, and we're going to have a little bit of olive oil and lime juice to sort of tie all of the flavors together. So here I have half of the zucchini. I used 10 cherry tomatoes, or you can use grape tomatoes, or you can use half of a whole tomato, whatever type of tomato you have on hand. This is 1 ear of corn. The corn is raw, and I just cut it off of the ear, so it's fresh and crunchy and sweet. This is 1/4 of a red onion, which just gives it a little bit of zing and adds to the crunchy texture of the overall salad. And this is our guava. So we've got 1 whole can of guava, half a zucchini, 1 corn, 1/4 of a red onion, and then 10 small tomatoes. Okay. I'm going to just pour over 1 tablespoon of olive oil. This is going to be part of our salad dressing. And then this is 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Last but not least, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which is going to bring all of the flavors together. That was 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm not sure if that's what I just said. Okay, so now all we are going to do is give it a good mix. So I did some taste testing yesterday with some of the food bank staff. We are slowly making our way back into the building, so I was able to share some of these recipe ideas with our staff and get their opinions to see what they thought about it. And we got some really good feedback on this salad because of the textures. All of the veggies are in season, so a lot of people like to see that it's incorporating some things that are in season and really cheap right now. The zucchini is really cheap and corn is really cheap. The tomatoes are kind of the same price all of the time, I think. So in season veggies with our canned guava. So that's a beautiful color combo. It's a good idea to let this sit for about 30 minutes in the refrigerator for all of the flavors to kind of meld together. But same as our fruit salad, this will hold up for a few days in the refrigerator. The longer it sits, the softer the zucchini will get because it's going to lose some water with a little bit of salt that we added to the mix, but that's totally fine. It's not going to be mushy unless you leave it for like up to 5 days or something. But with how refreshing this is and how hot it is outside, I doubt it will last that long. So serve this as a side dish. You can put this on top of a green salad with other vegetables that you like. Add some beans to make it a balanced, a whole meal where you have your protein source coming from your beans. This has a ton of fiber. Guava alone has 4 grams of fiber per serving. So you're going to get a punch of nutrition here and great texture and cool temperatures for the hot weather. Okay. Oh, I also wanted to say that you can also use other vegetables that you have on hand. So you could use yellow squash in place of zucchini. You could also use cucumber in place of zucchini. One of our food bank staff mentioned that, and I thought it was a fantastic idea. So you've got some options here. Okay, next thing we're gonna show you, let me rinse my hand real quick. Okay, so I keep talking about how hot it is outside, so I figured I would share a really good hydration opportunity to use this guava. Okay, this is not the most pretty pink drink you've ever seen. I love it. It's very pretty. So this is our version of an agua fresca, or a fresh water with fruit in it, but it's all blended up. So for this recipe, you're going to need a blender. I used 2 cans of guava and 8 cups of water. There's a little bit extra in another container. So this is not the full final amount, the volume that you would get. With agua fresca is usually blended fresh fruit, sugar, and water. So with this, I took one of the cans of guava and I drained out the heavy syrup, and I scooped out the seeds from the 2 cans. Instead of adding sugar, just regular sugar, I kept the syrup from one of the cans of guava and used that as my sugar in this drink. So the amount of sugar that you will get from the 1 can of guava is stretched out because we diluted it with water. So you're going to get the good fruit flavor, and it's going to be sweet enough, but not too sweet. So the 1 can of guava has 12 grams of added sugar. So that's not the amount of sugar that is in the fruit. That's the amount of sugar that's added to the can in the syrup. So we have the fruit sugar and only 12 grams of added sugar because we kept the 1 can of syrup. So we're going to get all the good guava flavor from that can as well. So all you need to do is blend the fruit until it's nice and blended and add your water until it's mixed all together. Serve it nice and cold with ice cubes, or keep it in the fridge until it's completely cold. And this is just a really great, refreshing drink. What I also love about it is it's not just juice. It's more like a smoothie with extra liquid added to it. So you're going to benefit from the fiber of the fruit in this. So that's another great health tip. Okay, I've got one more thing to share with you. Last but not least, yes, that is toast that you see. Okay, so when I think of guava, I always think of guava and cream cheese pastries or pastelitos. And so that is usually like a beautiful flaky external crust or shell, and it's going to have sweetened cream cheese and some form of guava in a really concentrated flavor. I believe it uses more of a guava paste from fresh guava. So in this case, making homemade pastelitos takes a lot of time. There's also a good bit of extra sugar and some extra fat from the shell. So what I decided to share with you is a really simple way to get those flavors without having to go through the process and adding additional things that you don't necessarily need. So I have whole wheat toast. You could spread some cream cheese on your toast. And then this is a small amount. It doesn't look like that much. This is how much you get from 1 can of guava blended up into a puree. So all I did was drain my guava here. I scooped out all of the seeds, and then I blended it in the blender until I got this puree. So you see how thick it is? Yeah, it moves very slowly. So it's very similar to a jam. So you can have this beautiful flavor of guava on your toast without having to go through the process of making paste or anything like that. So you can just spread this on your toast just like you would jam. You could put your cream cheese down if you wanted to do that. And that is another way to use your guava. Okay. So I've got Joy moderating from a distance today. So I'm going to pull up Facebook and see if we've got any comments for people sharing. Okay. Good morning, Joy. Thank you so much for hopping on to moderate for us. Oh my goodness, the guava really, it has this beautiful tropical flavor that's just, I can't pinpoint what makes it taste so different from some of the more common fruits that we're used to, like apples and bananas. Okay. Let's see. Alexa says, looks easy. How important is it to get every seed? If you end up with one seed in there, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Especially if it's not blended up, you'll be able to see it and you won't get this surprise crunch that I learned about as I was working with these. Okay. Yes, Joy, I love that. It's not imperative. It would be like accidentally leaving a small watermelon seed. Exactly. Okay. Let's see. All drained. Yes, Alexis. So I drained the fruit from the syrup in all of these recipes, except for the agua fresca, where I kept the syrup from 1 can. So we had some sugar added to it without adding, having to pull out another ingredient and add some white sugar. We're using what we already have on hand. Okay. Yes. Alexis, yes, if you don't have fresh corn handy for the relish, you can absolutely use canned corn. And that is the beauty of our recipes here from the food bank, is that you can use the type that you have on hand. So if you've got frozen corn, that will also work. Just thaw it out so it doesn't add any extra liquid to the salad, and you can use that as well. If you're going to use canned corn, you make sure to drain off that liquid too. You'll have a little bit more of a savory bite from the canned corn, but it's still going to add to the balance of the flavor. Okay, let's see. Yes, about half a can of corn. Perfect, Joy. Okay. Hi, Anne. Can you use guava to make ice cream? I'm thinking that you probably can do that. We didn't try that out. We also had the idea of potentially making a sorbet, but you would need to add sugar to that for it to turn out the right icy consistency. So if you try it, please let us know. I definitely think popsicles would be great. So you can take the puree and add just a little bit of water just to dilute it enough, and then add it to popsicle molds. If you have that, you can use a muffin tin and divide your popsicle base into the muffin tin. I like to cover it with foil and then put a toothpick through the top of each muffin, and then after you freeze it, you should be able to pop it out on the toothpick instead of having to buy additional kitchen things that we may not have space for. You can always make things work with things that you have around the house. Oh, Althea, I love that. More creamsicle. I think we could definitely take this guava puree and mix it with some yogurt and freeze that like we did with the orange juice and yogurt in the past. Ooh, that's a great idea. I wish I had thought of that today. Awesome, friends. Okay. Does anyone have any more questions or things they would want to share, maybe about their experience with guava or anything that your heart desires? Oh, I see, Alexis, you said, I thought you'd already blended with the cream cheese. No, that is the texture you get just from the guava itself. Like, it's very thick and creamy just alone, but I think adding the cream cheese to that would also be really delicious. You could also take a little bit of the syrup from the can and put it in your cream cheese to make your cream cheese just a little bit sweet, like it is in a guava cream cheese pastry. But I think by itself, I think the tartness and the creaminess of the cream cheese without sugar would be really delicious with the really sweetness of the guava. Yes, yes. Okay, thanks, Joy. I'm just going behind you and repeating answers that you already did, but I wanted to make sure we covered everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. I would love to hear from you. You can comment in this event if you come up with some fun ways to use guava. I will add that this item in our inventory is within the GNAP product program. So if you are one of our partner agencies and you participate in GNAP, this is going to be available to you. And then also, if you are a partner and you do not participate in GNAP, please reach out to your county relationship manager or drop us a note in the video and let us know you're interested, and we will help you find your county relationship manager and have a good conversation on what it means to be on GNAP and how that will benefit you and the households that you serve who have children. So thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. We'll be back in a couple of weeks on Tuesday for episode number 29. I don't know what we're going to be making just yet, so it'll be a surprise for me and for you all, but I know we'll be highlighting some inventory. So thanks again and have an awesome day. Try to stay dry out there.